Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. With the imminent arrival of the PlayStation 4 version of Elite, along with all the talk of patch 2.4 and the arrival of the Thargoids, I thought it time to head back out there and check out all the alien content that's so far in the game. Now of course, individually, much of that content is in my other videos, but so far there's no one single video that helps people find and locate all the stuff that's actually out there. So that's the aim of this video. Now, alien content within Elite Dangerous covers many different things. It ranges from alien artifacts to strange barnacle growths on planets, from alien crash sites to alien interdictions in deep space. So the aim of this video then is to show you what that's all about and help you to track it down for yourself. So if you're going to get heavily invested in alien mysteries, one thing you're going to need is a corrosive resistant cargo rack. Now, carrying alien technology inside your ship will damage your ship, and the only way to mitigate that damage is to have a corrosive resistant cargo rack. Unfortunately, the only current way to get one of these is from the engineer Professor Palin, and you will need him unlocked in order to do that, and that does take a fair while to do, and I'll link some details below in the video description which will show you exactly what you need to do. But once you do have him unlocked, you can come here to the Palin Research Center in the Maya system, land at this station, and buy the racks that you need. Now, another thing you're going to need to understand is how to use the Planetary Coordinates system within Elite Dangerous. And don't forget, in order to land on planets, you will need the Horizons expansion. You can't land on planets with just the base version of the game. Now, just like on Earth, all planetary locations are marked with longitude and latitude. You can see these highlighted on the HUD right here. In order to get to the correct coordinates, you will need to use the bearing indicator on the top of the HUD. Now, as we come round to a bearing of 0 degrees, you can see that the longitude actually stops moving and that the latitude keeps increasing. But what if we need the latitude to actually decrease? Well, we head in the opposite direction, and the opposite direction from 0 degrees is a bearing of 180 degrees. So if we bring the ship around to 180, you'll see that that number now decreases rather than increases. So this allows us to travel along the latitude line of the planet. We can go back or forward along it, giving ourselves either positive or negative numbers. Now, a fixed location on a planetary surface is made up of both latitude and longitude, so we need to know how to navigate along the longitude line as well. Now, this is all quite simple to visualize. If you imagine a large circle drawn on the table in front of you, with 0 degrees right at the top facing forward, and 180 at the bottom that's facing back, that's your latitude line. And longitude is at the 3 o'clock position, which is 90 degrees. You'll notice that the latitude number has now stopped moving, and that the longitude number is instead changing. And as with before, in order to travel in the opposite direction along the longitude line, you simply bring your ship around to a bearing of 270, which is the same as the 9 o'clock position. So then, using a combination of all these different bearings, you should be able to get yourself to any set of coordinates down on a planetary surface. Now, the whole point of this, at least for the purpose of this video, is to help us find the various alien locations. This here is the Unknown artifact. They appeared in the game a couple of years ago now, and as yet their full intention and their full function still remains somewhat of a mystery. They give off a very strange sound, and they also point towards the planet Merope 5c in the Pleiades cluster. Interestingly enough, that is the planet where the first alien barnacle was found, and we get to that in just a bit. So, whilst the true purpose of the Unknown artifact still remains a mystery, players have since discovered that selling them to stations can cause damage to those stations. And this is a process known as UA bombing or Unknown artifact bombing, and it's something that some players take great pleasure in doing as it causes disruption to the services at that station. Other players use Unknown artifacts for research purposes. They try to figure out, if they carry them around in the cargo holds, if they can do things such as gaining the attention of alien ships. It's also possible that we may have other uses for Unknown artifacts at a future date. So if you want your own Unknown artifact, then you can come to the planet right here that's listed on the screen now, along with the coordinates that are listed on the screen. And what you find here is a crashed Thargoid ship. It's all rather a mess here, with a bunch of human ships crashed here as well, but the cargo from the Thargoid ship seems to have strewn all across the floor, and there you can find a number of Unknown artifacts. Now, as soon as you get one of these UAs into your SRV, you'll notice that your vehicle starts taking corrosive damage. And the same thing will happen once you transfer the UA into your ship, unless of course you've got the corrosive resistant cargo rack. There's a number of alien crash sites around the galaxy. These are things that players have discovered over time, and since then they've become fairly popular tourist attractions. Personally, I find this location the most visually impressive, but if you want to go to the others, I'll link those in the video description as well. Another area of alien interest you may want to check out are the alien Barnacles, so called because of their resemblance to barnacles of the ocean variety. Now, there's quite a few different planets that have barnacles on them, in many different locations around the galaxy. More often than not, they're either found very nearby to nebula, or right inside nebula. As I mentioned earlier, and as you saw in the brief clip there is a set right on the planet Merope 5c, and I'll link that in the video description. But if you want to go to another one, there's one right here in the Pleiades sector, and this is a one that's been featured in many of the alien arrivals. Whilst players have been visiting this particular barnacle, as well as others of course, and just sitting there or driving around, they've found that the alien ships turn up and put on a rather spectacular demonstration. Unfortunately, the chances of aliens turning up seem to be rather low, as many players have still not seen it despite spending many hours down here at these various sites. But if you want to come to one of these barnacle locations, then you can see the information for this particular one on the screen right now, and there's a few others listed in the video description. There is another reason for coming here though. If you shoot the little organic spires, they will get destroyed, and what they'll leave behind are some meta-alloys. Meta-alloys can be used for various things, but most importantly, they can be used to heal stations that have been damaged by a UA bombing. This here is another type of unknown device. This is called an unknown probe. These are far more difficult to come across than an unknown artifact, but you can locate them in this system here. In fact, it's quite probable that you can locate them around any ammonia-based world in the Pleiades sector. You can see the system name on the screen now, along with the planet number. Now, ammonia-based worlds are quite important in terms of Elite Dangerous lore, because they were the homeworlds of the alien race the Thargoids. So the fact that unknown probes are found around ammonia worlds leads many people to suspect that they are of Thargoid origin. So what you need to do when you get to this planet is keep flying between 8 mm, that's 8 megameters, and 24 mm or 24 megameters. Just fly back and forth or around and around the planet until you get an unidentified signal source appear, and you can see that on your top right panel on the HUD there. And you select it from the left navigation panel as I just did. Once you've selected it, you're about to see what type it is, and the type you want is a degraded emissions threat 2. Very important, that's the type you choose because it's the only type that will contain the unknown probes. Now it's random as to what the signal source will be. You'll find all different types, so you just have to keep flying around until you find what one you want. Now this one took me around about 10 minutes to find, but unfortunately sometimes it takes upwards of an hour to actually locate one of these. Now the unknown probe is another one of the mysteries in the game, and it's one of the things that many players have spent many hours trying to investigate and study. And this all come to a head when players realised they could communicate with the device by using the Discovery Scanner. Now activate your Discovery Scanner here and give it a bit of a blast. The Discovery Scanner of course is used for discovering planets inside a system, and it lets out a rather distinctive honk. And to this, the unknown probe responds. Now players soon found that in a spectrograph of that audio there is an image. The image was encoded, and it took the community a very long time to decipher it, but eventually it was figured out that it was a set of coordinates for a planet in a system that is currently locked off to us, a place that some suspect may be the Thargoid homeworld. Now the Thargoids are making a massive comeback in the next update to Elite Dangerous patch 2.4 titled The Return, and they've already started to make their presence felt within the game, and they've done that in a rather spectacular fashion by taking out some of the most powerful human ships in existence. All that's left behind is some smouldering wreckages with some strange alien damage done to them. Now if you want to see this wreckage for yourself, then you need to come to the system on screen right now, which is HIP 17044. Then you need to head towards Planet 2, which strangely enough is an ammonia based gas giant. Another connection to Thargoids there then. Once here at this planet, go to the galaxy map and lay in a course for Astrope. Astra P is one of the 7 sisters in the Pleiades star cluster, another connection to the Pleiades then. Now once the course is laid in, and do not jump, just aim your ship towards the marker and then select Planet 2 again. Now once you've done this, you need to pay attention to your distance to Planet 2. Once you reach 11,000 light seconds, you should see a distress beacon come up. Once that's visible, select it and head straight towards it. Now the distress beacon is being broadcast by the federal ships that are there. And the federal ships have found themselves in a bit of a bind. They've come under attack by alien hostiles. And they really have made rather a mess of these human ships here. I try not to show too much in this footage, just in case you want to head out this way for yourselves. Now nearly all the content I've shown so far in this video you can do with a basic ship. In fact, you could probably do it even with a Sidewinder, your starting ship, just so long as you have a high enough jump range. The wonderful thing about Elite is that you don't need specialised equipment, powerful ships or vast sums of money in order to participate in this sort of content. Now the Thargoids are not the only aliens out there. They're the only aliens we've seen any sight of so far, but there were in the ancient past other aliens. These were known as the Guardians, and so far we have discovered their ruins out here on this planet, and again you can see the location right there on the screen. And here you will find an ancient, long-lost alien settlement. In fact, there are many of these dotted around this region of space, with the potential for there being hundreds of them. Now, the engineer Rumtar has had particular interest in this set of aliens, and if you go visit him, you can get a mission from his system. Now, fortunately, forum user Dognosh has put together a fantastic guide for this settlement, as well as the mission that comes along with it. The mission is probably worth doing, as it's worth over 200 million credits. However, it does take a significant amount of time to do, with the estimates being around about 6 hours to complete. I'll link Dognosh's rather excellent guide in the video description. Now, the galaxy of Elite Dangerous, whilst absent intelligent life, is chock full of lower forms of life. Most of this you can see just from the system map, where it details ammonia-based life or sometimes water-based life. However, from time to time, players come across something far more intriguing down on planetary surfaces. These are so-called brain trees are one such example, and there are allegedly many other such examples out there. In fact, I saw a crystalline type tree at Elite Meet last year, which players still have not encountered. And on another planet still, these strange, huge alien type pumpkins were found. Now as yet, these things don't do anything special. They don't even have any type of unique resources around them. However, they serve as an extremely vivid reminder that in the world of Elite Dangerous, life can exist in the most hostile of locations. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.